Welcome back. Another Tuesday night, another episode of the BBQ Pit MMA. No NFL this week. We are dealing with post week one sorrows, I would say. So we'll start getting some reviews and previews and shit like that later on in the NFL season. But for right now, we got UFC Vegas 60 coming up this Saturday. Corey Sandhagen versus Song Yadong, I think, is a pretty weird main event. I mean, I'm cool with it. I like the fight, but I think it's a weird one. Sandhagen, 14-4, never been knocked out in his professional career. Only been submitted once. That was by Aljamain Sterling in June of 2020. He's currently on a 2-fight losing streak, losing decisions to TJ Dillashaw and Peter Yan, which I personally thought he won the fight against Dillashaw. It was Dillashaw's first fight back from his suspension, so I know a lot of people were I don't want to say shit's rigged for him, but I think when shit goes to a decision like that, it's very close and it's a split decision. Guys like that are like, you know, a Conor McGregor making a return or a TJ Dillashaw making a return or John Jones making a return, they're going to get the slight edge in a split decision. So I think he won that one. He's 7-3 in the UFC with wins over Frankie Edgar, Marlon Moraes, Rafael Sunsao, and John Lineker, and in my opinion, TJ Dillashaw. He's a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. He comes into this fight with a 3-inch height and a 3-inch reach advantage. It's notable to say because Corey Sandhagen he's always been a long, lanky bantamweight. He's always been really good at defending takedowns, submissions off his back, and then the long-range strikes to the shorter bantamweight division normally has trouble with. Song Yadong's more of a counter fighter. He's a kickboxer that he wants to throw his leg kicks out. He wants to kill you with his jab, keep you at the end of his punches, and eventually win decision. Song Yadong is a decision machine. He's 19-6, 1-1. I don't think never been submitted, only been knocked out once in 2016 prior to getting into the UFC. He's got 8 wins by knockout, 3 wins by submission. So I was wrong. He's got 11 finishes out of his 19 wins, but several losses. A lot of his decision losses are via split decision. Decision wins via split decision. He gets down to the wire. He makes fights close and just kickboxes his way to a decision. But I don't think he can do that with a guy that's as much bigger is as bigger than him as Sandhagen is. Sandhagen's got a huge size advantage over Song Yadong. And his finishing ability, along with his size, I think it's hands down going to be Corey Sandhagen at the end of this fight. I wanted to put this into the Google so I could hear his name so I could pronounce it right for the show. Well, fuck it, I'll fucking murder it. I don't give a fuck. Chidi Jacani, Chidi and Jacani versus Gregory Rodriguez. Jacani is 22-7-1 with 14 wins via knockout. He's got 2 wins in the UFC, 2-0, with a knockout win over Marc-Andre Barriel and a knockout win over Desko Torodovic. He went 5-3 in Bellator from 2015 to 2019 with wins over Andre Fialho, Ricky Rainey, and Melvin Gillard. Prior to getting into the Bellator, like his local MMA days, he had fought guys like Max Griffin, Jeremy Kimball, Brandon Thatch, and Alan Jouban. So this guy had been fighting UFC caliber guys since the beginning. Since the beginning of his UFC career. Who needs the light, man? Fucking guys, man. Where were we at? Yeah, he beat all these guys prior to getting into the UFC. He's got a Muay Thai background, tall, lanky guy, just like Corey Sandhagen. He's going to have reach and height on most of the guys in his division. He comes into this fight surprisingly the same height as Gregory Rodriguez, but he's going to have a 5-inch reach advantage. Good takedown defense. This guy's really good overall. Yeah, big size advantage for Chidi. Rodriguez, though, definitely going to have the advantage on the ground. Black belt in jiu-jitsu, 12-4 record, 6 wins via knockout, 4 wins via submission. Never been submitted in his professional career, but has been knocked out in 2 out of 4 of his losses. He got knocked out by Jordan Williams on the Contender Series, and then Bruno Loops, in his professional debut. He went 3-1 in the UFC, with his only loss being a split decision loss to Arman Petrosyan. And his 3 UFC wins include Dusko Todorovic, Junyun Park, and Julian Marquez. He got Junyun Park and Marquez were both knockout wins. 6 out of his 8 fights in the UFC ended in knockout, and he is 6-2 in that time frame. Or 6 out of his last 8 fights ended in knockout, and he is 6-2 in that last 8-fight time frame. So Gregory Rodriguez also crazy knockout power. I think the one advantage he's got is if the fight hits the ground, he's got an extremely good chance of submitting Chidi. That being said, Chidi's got amazing takedown defense. He's long. Even if he does get taken down, I see him getting back up and landing some good strikes and being able to knock out Rodriguez early in this fight. Tanner Boser versus Rodrigo Nascimento. Rodrigo Nascimento is a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. 8-1-1 is his professional record, with his only loss being a knockout loss to Chris Daukaus in October of 2020. In his only fight after that loss, he got a TKO win over Alan Badout, but that was overturned to a no contest after Nascimento tested positive for PEDs in July of 2021. So it's been over a year since his suspension. He is back. He won his contract originally with a submission win over Michel Merternik in 2019, and then submitted Dontel Mays in his UFC debut. He then got knocked out by Chris Daukaus, and then, of course, the no contest for the PEDs right following that. He's got a 100% finish rate in his career, 2 wins via knockout, 6 wins via submission. And he's going up against Tanner Boser, who's 28-1. So Tanner Boser has 29 professional fights. Nascimento has 10 professional fights. Boser has 11 wins via knockout, and he's never been submitted in his professional career. He is 4-3 in the UFC. He's got wins over Owen St. Preux, Rafael Pessoa, Felipe Lins, and Daniel Spitz. He is 7-7 when the fight goes to a decision. Also a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, but he's also a black belt in karate. He gives up half an inch in height and 4.5 inches in reach, so significantly smaller. I think he's going to strike with him. He's going to bang. We're looking at really good jiu-jitsu versus really good striking. I got Tanner Boser, man. I think Tanner Boser just overwhelms him with pressure. He's always been a pressure kind of guy. Good cardio for the heavyweight division. And he's young, man. Nascimento not on the younger side, coming off a suspension, been gone for a year. I just don't see it going that well for him with Tanner Boser being his comeback fight. So I'm going to go Tanner Boser. 3 favorites, lock them. 4th, I'm going to let you know, I'm picking the favorite here. And this is not on the main card. This was a prelim card. Every time I pick off a prelim card, yada, yada, you guys know what the fuck it is. But I picked Joe Pyfer versus Alan Medovitsky. Pyfer 9-2 professional record, with his 2 losses being TKO losses to Jonathan Pitti and Dustin Stolfus. Dustin Stolfus was his first Dana White Contender Series appearance in 2020. After that loss, he knocked out Austin Troutman at CFFC 104. That gave him another shot in the Contender Series, where he knocked out Ozzy Diaz in July of this past year, given his infamous Dana White quote where Dana White said, "Be Joe Pyfer. When you come on the Contender Series, be Joe Pyfer." Basically, in definition, because he got his second chance, and with his second chance, he wasted no time. He got in there, made it ugly, and knocked out Ozzy Diaz. Pyfer is 6 wins via knockout, 3 wins via submission. He also has a submission win over bare knuckle BKFC light heavyweight champion Lorenzo Hunt back in 2018. He's ranked number 1 in New Jersey and number 24 in the United States at the middleweight division. He's coming into this fight with 4-inch height and 2-inch reach. 4-inch height advantage, but a 2-inch reach disadvantage against Alan Matovetsky, who is 8-3, currently on a 3-fight losing streak, which makes him 0-3 in the UFC. He needs a win, bad. He's lost to Krzysztof Jotko. He got knocked out by John Phillips and then got submitted by Joseph Holmes in his last fight. All 8 of his career UFC wins are via knockout. And in his 7 fights prior to getting into the UFC, his opponents had a combined record of 18-7. That is compared to the combined record of the first 7 opponents for Joe Pyfer, which was 30-34. So level of competition is not even close. Matovetsky's definitely been fighting higher level of competition. He's been in the UFC for 3 consecutive fights. So along with the fact that he's been fighting better guys prior to getting into the UFC, Matovetsky's also been in the UFC for 3 fights, whereas Pyfer will be making his UFC debut this weekend. I don't care. Throw all that out the window. Joe Pyfer is a dangerous, dangerous man. He's going to come into this fight and finish out Alan Matovetsky quick. First round finish, probably by knockout. I'm going to go Joe Pyfer, the working man, the Joe Smith of MMA, Joe Pyfer. Andre Feely and Bill Aljo is probably going to be on the main card, but I did not name that here. The rest of the prelim shakeout: Anthony Hernandez versus Marc-Andre Barriault, Damon Jackson versus Pat Sabini, Trevin Giles taking on Louis Cosi, Espen Ladd against Sarah McMahon, Denise Gomes be going up against Luke Bumney, Trey Ogden making his return against Daniel Zellhuber, Maria Agripova against Jillian Robinson. That should be a barn burner right there. Tony Gravely versus Javid Basharat, another good up-and-coming guy that's going to be fighting on this card. And then Nicholas Mata versus Cameron Van Camp. Siyara Eubanks and Sadiq Youssef were both supposed to be on this card. Sadiq Youssef was supposed to fight Giga Chikadze. He withdrew from this fight, and Youssef's manager posted on Twitter this afternoon saying that he flew to Vegas just in case, but more than likely he's not going to be fighting this weekend. No word yet on Siyara Eubanks. I'm actually getting conflicting things. I'm hearing, Eubanks pulled out from the fight. Then I'm hearing it is Moros that backed out of the fight. I'm not sure if either of these women are ready to fight this weekend or if they plan to. Just something to keep your eyes on for the rest of the week. That's it, guys. That leads us into next Tuesday. What are we previewing next Tuesday? We are previewing oh no, they skipped like 2 fucking weeks, man. What the fuck? Oh, they skipped 1 week. I guess that's Halloween weekend, 24th. They skipped the 24th, unless it's October 1st, which I don't think it was. October 1st. Okay, so they skipped 1 weekend, and then we're coming back to Mackenzie Dern versus Jan Zayanan. Cody Garbrandt versus Hana Yaya. So this should be a good card that we're coming back to. So next Tuesday, make sure you tune in. We'll be doing another preview for that card. We may be doing some NFL content, but check back in. The BBQ Pit MMA, the BBQ Pit Sports, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, fucking all that shit. Hit me up. Holla at me. Stay barbecued. Know what the fuck it is.